Prime Minister, how imminent
Yes.
do you think an invasion of Ukraine is, and what evidence do you have for that?
Well, I think the evidence is pretty clear. You've got about 130,000 troops massing on the Ukrainian border. There's all sorts of other signs that show that there are serious preparations for an invasion, and we've got to respect that. We've got to realise that this is a very, very dangerous, difficult situation. We are on the edge of a precipice, but there is still time for President Putin to step back. And what we're urging is for everybody to engage in dialogue, for a conversation to take place, and for the Russians to avoid what I think certainly everybody in the UK can see would be a disastrous mistake, disastrous for Russia.
Do you think an invasion could be hours, days away?
The signs are, as you've heard from President Biden, that they're at least planning for something that could take place as early as in the next 48 hours. That is extremely concerning. What we need to do is make sure that President Putin understands the economic consequences, the political consequences of doing this. And I think what needs to happen is that the world needs to learn the lesson of 2014. If you remember, Russia took eastern Ukraine, they took Crimea, but we didn't really do enough to divest, to move away from dependence on Russian hydrocarbons. And what I think all European countries need to do now is, get Nord Stream out of the bloodstream, yank out that hypodermic drip feed of Russian hydrocarbons that is keeping so many European economies going. We need to find alternative sources of energy, and we need to get ready to impose some very, very severe economic consequences on Russia.
Do you agree with the Defence Secretary that there is a whiff of Munich in the air? And if so, who is trying to appease President Putin?
I think it's very important that we all stand together and that we show a united front, particularly when it comes to economic sanctions. And the UK, as you know, has been in the lead in bringing our allies together so that there's a tough package of sanctions. But also,
what about appeasement? Is somebody trying to appease?
I think that it's very, very important that the West should stand united, and particularly that NATO should stand united. And it is, and it's been really encouraging to see the way countries have pulled together.
But you're not endorsing those comments.
What I'm saying is that it's important for the West to stand together, and I think the Defence Secretary is absolutely right to say it is very important that we've got to be strong, and we've got to be resolute, and we've got to be united.
Is there no deal with President Putin that would be preferable to war?
I think that it's very important that we have a dialogue, that we have a conversation. But Glenn, what we can't do is trade away the sovereign rights of the Ukrainian people to aspire to NATO membership. That's something that was a massive gain for our world. Remember what happened in 1990. We had a Europe whole and free. Countries could decide their own futures. We can't bargain that away. It's for the Ukrainian people.
And you've got no plans to travel to Moscow yourself?
I'm going to be doing everything I can to help the diplomatic process, and I'll be talking to various leaders, including Joe Biden, very soon.
Back home, you're considering ending all COVID self-isolation requirements. Do you have the scientific evidence to back that up? And if you do go ahead, will you still ensure that testing is free, especially when devolved governments might not follow your lead?
So I think the situation with COVID is that numbers remain high, but it's clear that Omicron is much less dangerous than Delta. You can see the numbers going down in hospitals, and the numbers in ICU have been nothing like what we saw with Delta. So I think we're on the right lines, and together we've been taking roughly the same strategy. I mean, I know people try and make a lot of small differences, and I understand that completely, but overall the UK has really been working very, very effectively together on testing, which is important. We'll make sure we continue to work with our colleagues in Scotland.
Will testing remain free?
We'll continue to work with our colleagues in Scotland, but I believe the similarities in our approach vastly outweigh the differences.
I've been told that I'm out of time, but do you want to talk about Scotland?
I'm happy. Go on.
So you're here in Scotland, you've done
Yes.
a deal with the Scottish Government on free ports. What do you say to critics who argue that that will simply draw investment away from elsewhere?
I don't think so, and I think if you look at the attitude of the Scottish Government, it's been fantastic. I think they've really got the point, and they can see the advantages of the free ports. I'm not allowed to give away the locations, but they can genuinely drive huge numbers of jobs and growth. So look, here in Rosyth, we've got a fantastic thing going on with the Type 31 frigate building programme. That's driving 2,500 jobs here in Scotland. Many more can be created with free ports. And by the way, I might say that what I forgot to say earlier on, relevant to Ukraine, as I'm sure you saw earlier on, the minesweepers you were filming earlier on, they are actually going to Ukraine as part of the UK's effort to support that country.
What authority do you have left in Scotland when the bulk of your own MSPs want to see the back of you?
I am working very hard with my colleagues in Scotland on our joint agenda of uniting and levelling up and delivering for the people of the whole UK. And I think we're very proud collectively of what the UK government has done at all levels to get us through COVID very effectively, so that we now have the fastest growing economy in the G7 last year and this year. Plus, we're working together on great projects which we're able to do now, such as the free ports and such as investment in Rosyth.
You're under police investigation. Have you completed your questionnaire and will you publish it in full?
Well, all that is a process has got to be completed before I can say anything more. But I look forward to telling you a lot more in due course.
But is the questionnaire in?
I look forward to telling you a lot more in due course.
And just on Cressida Dick,
this is a good one. This is a marathon. Keep going. Keep going.
Well, a lot of questions
Keep going.
for you as Prime Minister.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Are you happy with the way Sadiq Khan handled the Cressida Dick situation? And can you confirm that you will play no part in the selection of her successor?
I think the best thing I can say about Cressida Dick is that I think that over many years, I've known her for many years, she has played a remarkable role as the first female head of the Metropolitan Police. I thank her for all her service. It goes back a long time. I wouldn't want any other issues to cloud what I think overall is a very considerable record of public service to this country.
Just very finally,
very finally.
Yes, the opposition leader Keir Starmer has confirmed that he's received death threats following what you said in the House of Commons about Jimmy Savile. Do you feel responsible for that, and would you like to take the opportunity to apologise?
I've said more than enough about that issue. Thank you.